Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to the Hobby Dude 007 channel, the Model Car Cup series, and yet another installment of Now That's Cool. Today we're going to be looking at a series of hot rods, not just one, but a series from a movie. And this was a popular movie and one that got a lot of people into NASCAR racing. And yes, I'm talking about the movie Days of Thunder. Well, my good friend Jay Savarese expertly did a series of the cars, and they are cool. Let's take a look at them.
Bring your model to life with MCV products. Visit them on the World Wide Web at mcvproducts.net.
Before we get to Jay's masterpieces, I want to talk to you for just a second about the movie Days of Thunder. It's been 34 years since this movie was released, and I know we've got some younger folks out there that maybe have not seen the movie, so I'm not going to give away the plot or the ending or anything like, no spoilers today, but I encourage you, if you've not seen the movie Days of Thunder, go back and check it out. Pull it up and check it out. And for you guys that have seen it, hey, watch it again. Really good movie. The thing I liked about it at the time most was the fact that when it was released, the cars that were on the racetrack at that time were the ones that were in the movie. And I mean by that, the body styles, everything was up to date and current. The Lumina was a brand new car at that time, and it was kind of the star of the movie. With a lot of the guys driving it. What I want to share with you are some of the pictures of the real cars from the movie, some stills, and I think that'll give you a better appreciation for the artwork that Jay pulled off on this series of cars. The first car that we saw in the movie was the number 51 Exxon Chevy Lumina, driven by Rowdy Burns, a Cup champion, a Winston Cup champion, and beautiful car, beautiful black car, Exxon sponsor. And you'll notice in this picture right here that during that time frame, there's the number 15 Lumina, and you'll notice that they ran this movie series cars in both the Winston Cup and the Busch series at that time. And then when Trickle came along, the hero of the movie, he got his ride with Tim Dalen of City Chevrolet, which was a Chevy dealer, had several locations throughout the Charlotte area, and he started a race team, and that's the car that he drove, was the City Chevrolet car. This one I had a hard time getting a hold of it, even though, getting used to it. It kind of grew on me after a while, but the fluorescent green and fluorescent yellow, while it was bright, I just wasn't really fond of the paint job at first, but really cool. Well, Cole, as a rookie, ends up winning his very first race at Darlington, and they get a sponsor. So the new car, 46 car, ended up being a fluorescent pink and white Superflow motor oil car. And as you can see, this is a pretty sharp looking car. In fact, it was one of my favorite paint schemes of the entire movie. And I'll share the other two of my favorites with you in a second when they come up. At Daytona, the Firecracker 400, Rowdy Burns and Cole were involved in a horrendous accident, and you see these cars being torn up here. And the next car that showed up was the relief driver for the 46 car, which was Russ Wheeler. And when Cole came back, he ended up getting his own car and was a teammate, and it was number 18, sponsored by Hardee's. You'll notice in the on the front fender down there, the front bumper, you see a little round spot down there. That was actually a camera, and there was one on the back bumper as well that filmed those close to the track shots that you see in the movie. And you could see that was also a winning car there. And, well, I'm not going to give away any of the story, so. And then another winning car was one later, the number 51 that was sponsored by Mello Yello, and this was another one of my absolute favorites because on that black is fluorescent yellow, fluorescent red, and fluorescent green, and the rocker panels along the bottom were fluorescent green too. This thing was bright, and it was the paint scheme that Kyle Petty used later on his Pontiac that he did some winning in too. But an absolutely sharp car. Pictures don't do it justice as far as just how bright the colors are. And as they filmed the movie, I mentioned a while ago about the camera in the bumpers, in the front and rear bumpers, so you get those close to the track views. They also had camera cars for filming. Now, many of the scenes in the movie were filmed on various racetracks, and they were staged, and they had these camera cars. And you notice the dual movie film cameras on the mounted up front there, half the windshield gone so they could get good shots of the driver there. There was also I think it was a 79 or 80 El Camino that was on a Laughlin NASCAR racing chassis, so it could run at speed and do filming in a crowd of cars. And another car that was in the movie. Now this one of the producers of the movie was Don Simpson, and he made a cameo in the movie, and he drove the number 34 Goody's headache powder car, and he went by the driver name of Aldo Benedetti. And this car was actually quite beautiful. The metallic kind of mauve, it was something. Here's a look at it on the racetrack there too. And during the filming of the movie, if you went by Hendrick Motorsports to pay a visit, out front you would see all of the movie cars from the movie Days of Thunder. Hendrick Motorsports maintained all of these. A number of them were painted in various locations, including a shop here in Spartanburg that painted a few of the cars because they had to have a bunch of cars for the movie. And if you went around back of Hendrick Motorsports, now these are long gone, you'd have the boneyard back there of the cars that were used in the movie. You see an 18, the 46 there. Just a lot of the wrecked cars from the movie that were out back. Now, just for a little information, this movie was under production in the later 80s, late 88 and 89. So some of the stuff was filmed before the Lumina came out. And if you wanted to do one of these just for the fun of it, you wouldn't be wrong, and you would still be accurate to do a Monte Carlo Aero Coupe, an SS Aero Coupe. Check that out. And here's a look at it on the top there, and the Lumina when it came out below. And a look at the Hardy's car when it first came out in the Aero Coupe anyway. Now, while some of these, well, none of these, the Aero Coupes made it into the movie, this was early on, and there was artwork, just some fictitious artwork that was made up early on for like the Goody's car. There's a Aero Coupe, Monte Carlo Aero Coupe. One of the first looks at the Exxon car. Got to admit, I like the black much better. But these things were really, really cool, and a lot goes into the production, this type of production, planning, paint schemes, characters, all that kind of stuff. Now, getting over to the star of this, Jay's collection of Days of Thunder cars. This is absolutely awesome. Jay has done a variety of these. What you see here, these 6 are nothing compared to the other ones he has in addition to these. But looking again at the first one that we saw in the movie, Rowdy Burns' car, is that not just beautiful? And if you go back and look at a lot of the stills, which you can find online and do some research, you'll find the decal placement, the weathering on these cars, everything is just absolutely spot on. The grill work tape, everything. Jay has really researched these well, and replicated everything spot on. Beautiful paint, just absolutely an awesome job. And then, of course, next up was the City Chevrolet. And like I said, this thing grows on you. Up front, I wasn't a real fan of the green and yellow, but it really does grow on you. But as you can see, just an absolutely awesome car. And of course, after winning a race and they got a sponsor, you went to the Superflow. And this thing again was fluorescent pink and white. And guys, I gotta admit, if I had to pick just one of the cars, this would probably be my absolute favorite. I don't know, something about it wasn't really the color so much as the way it made the car look, I guess. It just, and maybe it was the striping, the way they did it, but it got to be by far my favorite. With the Superflow, or excuse me, the Mello Yello car and the Goodies car being kind of tied for second there. Sharp car, huh? And then we have Russ Wheeler's Hardee's Lumina number 18. And this was fluorescent orange and kind of a bright blue and really a sharp car. And again, this was the teammate to the Superflow car. And no, I'm not going to say it. Go see the movie. But really sharp stuff. And then there's the team cars there. And then Jay's absolutely fantastic. And the colors on this thing, everything just spot on for the Mello Yello car. Just a fantastic car. And you see here too, on that back bumper, you see the camera in the back, and on the front, on the right side, in the center picture there, you see where the camera is, and on the bottom picture there too. So he really did a great job on these things. And he has an award winner here too, in that he replicated the camera car. You see there again the half windshield, the real movie cameras, and all the wiring going into the car to power the cameras, everything. This thing is just off the chain. I've been privileged to see this at a couple of shows, and let me tell you, this thing is absolutely awesome. I'll share something else with you here in just a second, the way he displays it, and it's just fantastic. Very creative, very accurate to the actual car. Spot on. As I was saying, at shows he displays this on a clapperboard, just like on a movie set, and he did up a figure of Tom Cruise to put with the car, which is absolutely awesome. And that's one of the camera cars there, of course, but absolutely fantastic. And the Aldo Benedetti car, Don Simpson made his cameo in. There you go. Now you got to admit, guys, this is sharp. Very good looking car. Very colorful. And here it is with the Hardee's car. And again, you see the camera down there in the bumper. And he also did, if you remember from the movie, all the beat up after the race, the beat up, worn, weather worn, track worn cars. There you go. He's got a collection of those too. But Jay did an absolutely outstanding job on every single one of them, whether the new cars, weathered cars, whatever. But the whole collection of cars, and just absolutely great. And the decals for most all of these cars are available. So you can find those at Mike's Decals. There's a number of places, Ace Decals, a number of places you can find these. And I want to take a minute and say thank you to Jay for allowing me to share this with you. These are just absolutely some awesome works of art. very professionally done, and something I think any of us would be proud to have in our collection. Jay, again, thank you, bud. I appreciate you very much. Guys, I appreciate you watching tagging along this time. Just super stuff. And if you want to do these, like I said, the decals are available. Build you up the set. Hey, go watch the movie again. All right, guys, this is cool. God bless. I'll see you in the next video. Later, guys.